Wanna work out. Wanna work out. Yeah, yeah. Wanna work out. Women work out. Women work out. Women work out. Women work out.
I'm very happy to meet you again. It looks like we're going to be in for a fight. Fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight. Jab, jab, jab. Punch, punch, punch. Jab, jab, jab. Right hook, left hook. Right hook, left hook. Jab, jab, jab. Fighting. We are fighting to make a fist. We're fighting for our fitness. Fitness, fitness. We can be fit. We can fight for our fitness. That's right. And after a while, we'll be able to make a complete fist with the greatest of ease. Remember when you broke your arm and you couldn't make a fist out of your right hand? Now you can make a fist out of your right hand. Just like almost completely normal. Yes, yes you can. Just keep fighting, lovey. Come on, lovey. You can do it. Just keep fighting. Lovey. Come on, you can do it. I always give my advice.
Well, you know, I'm going to have to be your fairy god sleigh mother today. Fairy god sleigh mother has a lot of things to say today. I'm going to talk about wearing a red dress because everybody likes red dress. And I'm fairy god sleigh mother knows best. So I've got on my red satin dress with lace and ruffles today. Fairy god sleigh mother's always got to have her opera gloves and her satin and lace. Keep up the good fight. Yes, keep up the good fight. Come on, lovey. Keep up the good fight, lovey. Keep up the good fight with fairy god sleigh mother. You know what I always tell ya? If you can't fight for yourself, you're gonna get taken advantage of. You're gonna get taken advantage of if you can't fight for yourself. Well, we're trying to make a fist because you broke your arm. Pretty soon, you're gonna be able to make a fist and you're not gonna have to worry about defending yourself. Now, boxing is a very good sport. Yes, it is, lovey. Remember, making a fist is good to stretch your muscles and increase flexibility in your muscles. Got to keep your muscles stretching. Get the full range of motion back into your fingers. Because when you broke your wrist, you could not use your fingers or your hand. Now, making a fist is of integral importance to you because it represents how you can now use the full range of motion and flexibility in your hand. Come on, lovey. Make a fist. Come on, lovey.
Every time you put on red, you look dazzling. Everyone loves red. You see my red dress, honey? It's my red ruffle dress. I just love wearing my red dress everywhere I go. Yeah, every god sleigh mother's gotta get dressed up too. Sleigh, 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 sleigh. Every god sleigh mother, very good. Every god sleigh mother, very good. Every god sleigh mother, very good. I'm going to do some exercises that will help with indigestion. Indigestion, stomach muscles, and in small and large intestine muscle stretches have to be kept limber in order to facilitate proper digestive health. So now we're going to do a series of stretches that will prevent or cure your indigestion and cause your food to digest properly. The first pose we're going to do is called the bridge pose. So lay on your back. So lay on your back and place both of your arms like so on your side. You can roll them up into fists, or you can leave them flat to use them as leverage to push off the ground. Then you put your knees like this, and then you lift your pelvis up and your stomach up like this. And you do it many times. Some people like to grab their ankles when they do it. So, lay to the side like this. And demonstrate. Just like this. This is the bridge pose. And then touch your ankles. Or grab the back of your sneakers to do it too. Okay. The next pose is the cat cow pose. So you lay flat, and you put your arms like this on either side, and you pull in your stomach muscles like this, and then you push them out like that. Pull in, push out, pull in, push out from the back. You pull in and push out. Pull stomach in and push out. In, out. In, out. The cat cow pose. The cobra pose. You lay flat, put your legs, stretch your legs out. You use your arms on either side and push up like this. That's the cobra pose. It stretches your stomach muscles. Another pose that's very easy and is to lay with your arms back like this. Lift your legs all the way up in the air like this. And then bend them towards you like that. With your arms all the way back like this. Again, starting from the side. Arms all the way back. The wind releasing pose. So the one with one leg is the half wind releasing pose when you just pull one leg all the way up. Like this. Put the other leg flat and pull the other leg all the way up. Half wind releasing pose. So the right leg crosses over the left leg. And then the left leg bends back. And then your body twists in the opposite direction. This pose is called the seated spiral pose. From the side, it looks like this. The seated spiral pose. It stretches your muscles in your stomach. Down to the elbow. Put this leg straight, that one, the left leg over the right. The right leg back. And twist in the opposite direction. Like this. Put in your hand like this. Stretches your stomach muscles. The seated spiral pose. Another pose is to squat down like this, just like a frog, and then put your two hands together like this and reach down as far as you can get. This is another pose for indigestion. I hope you enjoyed all of our indigestion poses today, and I hope that it makes you digest your food more.
Now I'm going to weigh myself after I did a full day's work on the yard and got gas. Let's see what I weigh now from 130 to, come on, scale. 129. Lost the count. Let me see what it looks like again. I know why I weigh a pound more, because I'm holding my phone. If I wasn't holding my phone, would I weigh less? Obviously. My phone weighs something. Ah, that's from holding my phone. Without my phone, I was 128 and subtract a pound for clothes. I'm 127. Look! I have gotten down to 135. Soon I'll be back to 130. Now I'm gonna get my socks to match. That would be nice. Get my socks to match. It's a miracle, you think? On the scale, see how much I weigh. Time to see how much I weigh on the scale. It's cut half my lawn, then it started raining. Now I'm gonna see how much I weigh. I was 135, now let's see. 134.4. Cutting the grass made me lose about a pound. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's now time to talk about how it's been this week. I have been walking for an hour every night. It's good for my muscles and it's good for my exercising. Walking for an hour every time. Exercising is very good for you. You should learn to walk for an hour every day. And it's good to do a jogging exercise for as long as you can. Hopefully for about 5 minutes. 5 minutes. After you're done jogging for 5 minutes, then you can walk. And walk for the remaining of the 55 minutes so that you have walked for an hour. That's my routine. I am going on a leisurely walk in the woods. I have come to the end of the road in the beaten path. There's no more pavement now. Just a crushed gravel road with vines and ground cover growing amongst the crushed stone. I hear the leaves crush underneath my feet. On either side of me are sloping, steep mounds of earth, plummeting here and there. Deep caverns with fallen trees. Fallen trees and deep caverns greet me as I walk in the woods of Virginia. I am utterly alone, except for my phone. As you can see, our tornadoes have reached the top of the trees and knocked a few of them down. None of the twisters were strong enough to take out any of our humble abodes. The road winds and twists like a question mark, and I wonder where it will go next. I have not been down this path before. This is the road less traveled. My SUV won't make it down this.
My SUV will not make it down this path without some careful maneuvering, being that the road is so narrow and winding with no pavement, fallen trees, deep valleys, rolling hills, mountainous, hilly terrain, thick foliage of trees that are not palm trees, humble wooden fences that look like they could corral a horse. There are no guardrails on this trail. This trail is in solace. It is cloistered away from the civilized pavement. There once was a river that rolled through that deep valley down there. Not anymore. Nothing but fallen leaves and fallen trees. Where will this road lead me as it winds up and up and up the side of a mysterious mountain path? I hope there's nobody hunting deer today, because if there is, I don't know. Going deeper and deeper and deeper into the woods will take me. I believe I will turn around and go back. This road looks quite desolate. I will return to my beaten path, the road that I most know, closer to home. And back, and back, and back. It's only been 3 minutes. Be still my heart attack. There's a sense of consternation, confusion, frustration. Where does this road lead? Where does it go? Where will it take me? Feels like feels like so many fallen leaves, so many fallen dreams. The sky beckons above with the clouds like fluffs of cotton upon the horizon. Well, the houses are not as expensive because these roads are not paved. So a nice size house can be built for less money. Going back home, back to the pavement, back to the old beaten path, the paved street. Going back home. Wow, it's going to be an uphill climb from here. An uphill climb. The untraveled road, the road less traveled, like Robert Frost would say in his poems. The road less traveled. Back on the concrete, on the asphalt, on the pavement, no longer in the woods. Almost back home.
This is my rendition of chicken and rice with mixed vegetables, collard greens, and kale and diced onions. Simmer in the pot. It's a slow cooker dough. Here are the shredded collard greens, a savory southern classic. And here's the versatile, richly nutritious kale greens. Kale has got sort of a ruffly, lacy look to it. And the collards are just plain old regular collards, shredded collards, and savory kale greens. You can eat the kale raw, but we boil the heck out of it until the chicken falls off the bone. A lot of people like to use smoked things for this, but we're just going to go ahead and boil it down, and then we might throw some barbecue sauce and hot sauce on it. Yum. This is going to be good old southern fixings for our dinner and so nutritious. Did you know that collard greens contains as much calcium as a glass of milk with zero cholesterol? And kale has so many nutrients in it because it's a dark leafy vegetable. Well, that's the nutrition facts, and we're going to go into more detail later. Just look at that bubbling food. First, we started out with the chicken drumsticks, and then we added the shredded collard greens, which are savory southern classic, and then the curly, ruffly kale. Now they're richly nutritious. I looked up all the nutrients that were on the kale and that were on the collard greens, and I found that they were extremely nutritious. Well, when I broke my arm, we both broke our arms, but I broke my arm when I was a little kid, way back. I was climbing a tree, and I fell out of the tree and broke my arm. When she broke her arm as an adult. So it's a totally different feeling. Well, I found out the nutrition facts in collard greens. I am now going to tell you the full nutrients. I'm going to tell you the nutrients. Now, we're going to start talking about it because I know calcium was one of the things. And I was surprised to find out that calcium was more abundant in collard greens and in kale than in a glass of milk, and has zero cholesterol and no saturated fat, or because it's a vegetable. I was shocked to find out that something that was green had calcium in it. I thought the only way you could get calcium was from a cow or some dairy product. I didn't know. I had no idea. Now I know. It has 100 grams serving. In a 100 gram serving of cooked collard greens provides high levels of vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K, fiber, of course. That's the stuff that keeps things going in your body that's healthy that you get from vegetables. Calcium and iron, along with many other micronutrients. The calories, only 33 calories. Water is 90.2 grams of water, 5.5 grams of carbohydrates, 4 grams of fiber, 0.4 grams of natural sugar, 2.7 grams of protein. Who knew? 0.7 grams of fat, but that's polyunsaturated fat. Now, in 100 grams, if you weigh them and you have a metric scale and you get 100 grams of collard greens, you're getting 339% the daily value of vitamin K, which is extremely high, supports blood clotting and bone health. That's exactly what we need. We need to support blood clotting and bone health to heal our broken bones. Then you get vitamin A, 20% plus DV, eye health, immunity. Daily value. DV means daily value. Then you get vitamin C, 20% daily value. Immune support, antioxidants. Vitamin B6, moderate amount. Minerals in collard greens include calcium, as we said earlier, moderate amounts for bone health. Iron supports red blood cell production, magnesium, muscles, and nerve function. Magnesium also helps build bone when combined with calcium, and magnesium helps you go to sleep, and it helps your digestive tract. Potassium is good for heart and fluid balance, and manganese, well, manganese is just manganese. It precipitates purple when it comes in contact with certain chemicals in your pipes. Chlorophyll is of course that green stuff. It's an antioxidant, and phytonutrients may help reduce inflammation from the arthritis. Dietary fiber supports digestion and cholesterol reduction. So, collard greens are very high in vitamin K, vitamin A, vitamin C, moderate levels of calcium. If you eat enough of it, it's as much as a glass of milk. Well, I know a can of Now that we know about collard greens, it's also time to talk about kale. Now kale, if you cook 1 cup or 21 grams of kale, it'll straight down because it's mostly made out of water. It's very roughly and it looks like parsley. It has 7 to 8 calories, 1 gram of carbohydrates, fiber is 1 gram. Now 1 gram of fiber, 0.6 grams of protein in kale. That's surprising. Kale also has 0.3 grams of polyunsaturated fat because fat can come from something that's not an animal based. 0.2 grams of sugar and 11 milligrams of sodium. Now kale has some very K vitamins in it. It's got vitamin K, which is 6 to 8% daily value per cup, very high. Vitamin C, which is 20 to 22% daily value per cup. Vitamin A, which is 6% daily value from beta carotene, and manganese, which is 8%. Now, minerals in kale. Kale also has 4% the daily value per cup of calcium, small amounts of potassium, potassium and magnesium. Very small amounts of iron. Again, the kale has more vitamin C, 3 times as much vitamin C. The kale has more potassium, has 348 milligrams of potassium, while the collard greens only has 213 milligrams of potassium. So kale has more potassium. Kale has slightly more calcium. It has 254 milligrams of calcium, while collard greens has 234 milligrams of calcium. Now the kale has substantially more iron. It has 1.60 milligrams of iron, while the collard green has 0.47 milligrams of iron. So kale has significantly more iron. Magnesium. Kale has 33 grams of magnesium and the collard greens has 27 grams of magnesium. Choline. The collard greens have 38.5 milligrams of choline, and they tremendously beat the kale in this area, choline, because kale only has 0.8 milligrams of choline, not even 1 milligram. So that's the comparison between kale and collard greens. So which one do you think is healthier? I mix the two together, and that would make a healthy combination. I also added chicken and rice and mixed vegetables. Now for the color, mixed vegetables add that obvious beta carotene because it's bright orange, and the mixed vegetables have some corn and some string beans in the mixed vegetables, and add a bright color to the dish. Also added some chicken drumsticks, and I boiled up the chicken drumsticks until they came off the bone. Then I added some rice because this is going to cook up to be like a rice dish. Yum, yum.
We're going to compare the kale to the collard greens side by side neutral.
The chicken drumstick is of course going to add animal fat, cholesterol, and the all-important protein, which is such an important and integral nutrient in building muscle and bones to heal our broken bones. Of course, the rice will bulk out the dish and make it very filling. Now, the rice is a carbohydrate, while the chicken drumstick is of course a protein because it's meat. So we're going to get a lot of B vitamins from the chicken drumstick. Now it's important to buy enriched rice because it has riboflavin, thiamine, and niacin added to it, which is why they call it enriched rice. And did you know if you cook with tap water or with spring water that the rice absorbs the minerals that are in the spring water or the tap water? Now, the minerals that are in the tap water help us to digest our food, and they keep the electrolytic balance inside our body. So if we boil our kale and our collard greens in that tap water, it is going to enrich the mineral nutrition of the food. So we talked about kale and collard greens and how they have their special qualities that we can greatly enjoy. Now go on out and get you some shredded collard greens. When I was growing up, my grandmother used to get them in bundles and rinse them off in the sink and then fold them or roll them up and chop them into pieces and put them in the pot. In a huge spaghetti pot. And in the spaghetti pot, and it boiling.
We're going to compare the kale to the collard greens side by side.
The avocado can be diced up when it's ripe. Now I'm going to talk about it. Go on, talk about the avocado. Tell them all about it. Put that ripe avocado on anything, including kale or collard greens. First, when it's ripe, you can scoop it right out. and you can eat it just like that. Olive oil, fresh salsa, lemon juice keeps it from turning brown, but you could also use vinegar, apple cider vinegar, to keep it from turning brown. When it's very ripe, it oxidizes and turns brown in the refrigerator. The story of the snow leopard is a very intriguing one. You often wonder, what is a snow leopard? I think there was an operating system on here. about a snow leopard? Well, we all work out together when we come together at this lovely little cottage in the woods. All four of us come here to the lovely cottage in the woods and we work out and we go hiking. Well, in the mountains and in the woods, depending on what time of year it is, there are snow leopards. Well, when all four of us get together here to hang out at our cabin in the woods, we don't have any snow leopards because they're mostly found in Afghanistan, India, Nepal, China, Mongolia, and Russia. They're also called ghosts of the mountains. They're mountain-dwelling big cats. See, we live here on the mountain.
Yes, we do. We live on a mountain at very, very steep elevation. But our geography does not lend itself to snow leopards. When we meet here at the house in the woods, it's in a part of the United States that doesn't have snow leopards, but there are brown bears, and certain parts of the United States, they have wildcats and coyotes. Well, mountain lions. Well, the snow leopard reminded us so much of the kitty cat we have. That is a mackerel tabby. She's so adorable. She kind of reminds us of a miniature snow leopard because of the way her fur is. Well, snow leopards are actually named Panthera uncea. They're in the Felidae cat family, and they can get up to be 90 pounds. Their fur is thick and pale and gray, with black rosettes and long, insulating undercoat. Their tail is very long and fluffy, used for balance and warmth. They're solitary creatures. They're active at dawn and dusk. Their diet is carnivore. They hunt wild sheep, marmots, and other mountain plants. They eat other animals. They're carnivores. They're meat eaters, not vegetarians. They wouldn't like our collard greens very much because they'd probably tear up that chicken drumstick, though. I know, they would. But they don't like vegetables very much. Like most cats, they only eat vegetables when they're in the stomach of one of the animals that they have eaten vegetables. Otherwise, they try and stay away from it. Every now and then you'll see a cat chewing grass, but that's very unusual for a cat. So, they have been poached almost completely out of existence. They're a very vulnerable, near extinct species. Their habitat has been lost, and the animals that they hunt for food have declined. There's a human-wildlife conflict. Snow leopard behavior, snow leopard habitat, and snow leopard endangerment is a subject of interest. Snow leopards. Well, the distinct set of behaviors, snow leopards live utterly alone, except during mating season when a mother is raising cubs. Cubs stay with their mother until 18 to 22 months, then disperse to establish their own territories separate from their mothers. They're active at dawn and dusk. Crepuscular activity is what it's called. Crepuscular. They have large home ranges of hundreds of square kilometers, rocky cliffs, ridges, and their terrain. They stalk their prey, scraping the ground with their hind legs. They communicate, spraying urine on rocks, so that they mark their territory. Snow leopards can purr, hiss, growl, meow, moan, and yawl, and cannot roar due to throat anatomy. But they're similar to house cats in that they can meow. That's interesting.
They're stealth hunters. They're non-aggressive towards humans. Snow leopards do not attack humans. They're loners. They prefer to be alone. They have broken, rocky terrain, irregular slopes and mountaintops, alpine meadows, and steppes. They live in major valleys and forested areas with heavy human activity, but they don't bother humans. They live utterly alone in solitude, cloistered away from civilization, but can get along with humans. Okay, snow leopards are hunted, and they have strange social behavior as regular snow leopard behavior. They are very unusual, endangered creatures. Mating season breeds male and female association. Then once the lady gets pregnant, she splits, and so does the man. Get out of here, I don't need you. I can rough it all by myself. So the mother with cubs has only long-term social unit sibling groups that stay together briefly after dispersal, so they prefer to be alone. They quickly find their own territory. Solitude and loneliness is their constant companion. Well, blue roses are interesting. They are rare. Bees are of course attracted to bright colors, but blue roses are oddity. Blue roses fall into 3 categories, all created by humans. They do not exist in real life. They are dyed with food coloring. Did you know that? White roses are soaked or ingested with blue dye. They're injected with blue dye. The most vivid and common form, genetically engineered roses, such as what's called the Suntory applause rose, is created by inserting the pansy gene from a lavender or mauve, not true blue, into the rose. So they're genetically engineered or they're injected with dye. They don't exist in reality at all other than that. Isn't that fascinating? Hybrid blue variants, roses like Blue Moon or Blue Girl, that are actually lilac or purple, not blue. Wow. Why does the true blue rose not exist? Roses cannot naturally produce blue pigment because they lack the enzyme F3,5H, which is required to synthesize blue pigment. Even genetically engineered roses struggle because rose petals are acidic, which generates the blue pigment. The unobtainable or impossible thing to have in nature. One is called Rhapsody in Blue, a deep purple blue rose, and the other one's Suntory Applause. It's amazing. Well, as your fairy god slay mother, I would have to say the blue roses are interesting. You could wear it with a blue dress. Very interesting. Indeed. Snow leopards and blue roses are strange combination, but you can get away with it, I guess, if you try to use your imagination. That's right, blue roses don't exist, but if they did, I would have an entire bouquet of them in my rose garden. And actually they said they can be genetically engineered, but they're not true blue. Isn't that deeply fascinating? I thought it was very interesting indeed. Now, blue roses and snow leopards. I don't think snow leopards have such blue eyes either. I think it was created for dramatic effect, Bobby. Now come on, lovey. It was created for